Okay, so if there are no more questions, I will talk about your midterm exam a bit. If you have any questions, of course, after that, you can ask me about it. Okay, so for some of you, it is the first time that you will face personalized exam. That's why it's not bad to go through the file one by one for each item so that there won't be any misunderstanding about them. I will upload the complete file on your exam date. So on December 5th at 6 o'clock in the evening, I will upload this file, the complete file, including all the questions on AutoClass, and you will have 1 day to submit your work to the same assignment link. Now let's go through all the items carefully. The midterm homework exam is personalized. That is, each student should answer only the questions which are assigned to him or her. You can find the questions you should answer in front of your student ID in the following table. So a table will be given to you, and this table includes the student IDs. So you can find your student ID number, and in front of it, you can find the questions that you should answer. So answering the questions which are not assigned to you not only won't be graded, but you will receive negative points for them. So it's very important to know exactly which questions you should answer. Unfortunately, in the last semester for statistics, we had some students who received negative points by answering the wrong questions. So let's avoid that, and please be careful about the questions which are assigned to you. Only answer them, and in your solution file, please include the number of the question that you should answer. So please go through the following table carefully and only provide the solutions for the questions which are assigned to you. In your solution file, don't forget to write the question number of each question that you are giving the solution to, as I mentioned. If your name is not in the list, please inform me immediately. I think it won't happen because I use AutoClass in order to construct that table. But just in case, if you don't see your student ID, don't forget to contact me immediately so that I will give you new questions. So second one, provide the complete solution for each question. Yeah, this is very important. In our videos related to weekly assignments, I talked about what a complete solution means. And we should include formulas if it is related to the question, or assigning exactly the values related to the formula one by one, not jumping to the final answer. You should show your calculations completely and show us the final answer. So by complete solution, it means that you should add as much as possible in your solution file. Use only the methods that we talk about in our lectures. Yeah, this is very important because if you watch the videos from other sources, maybe they have errors or maybe they have different opinion. Fortunately for this course, it really happens because for mathematics, usually we don't have this problem, but still maybe there are some errors in other methods, or you can find maybe different way of solving a problem. I mean, in mathematics, it happens often that you use different methods, but the answer should be always the same. But in other courses, we even see that the final answers could differ, which is not the case in mathematics. You can use computer software too, and you should provide us the complete solutions as mentioned. So as I already mentioned, you should provide us the complete solution. So it is clear that you cannot just use a software and provide us the final answer. You can type all your answers, or you have this option to take pictures of your solutions and insert those pictures in your solution file. Yes, in case that you're not comfortable with typing your answers, it's also possible to write them on paper and take a picture of them and insert them in the Word file. But please make sure that the quality is good enough. If the quality is not good, unfortunately, your file won't be graded. So we should be careful about that. You should provide all the pictures inside the same file, not provide me a zip file of pictures. Submit a single file on AutoClass, either in Word or PDF format. Now, I usually prefer Word, but if you provide PDF, it's also fine. And don't provide zip files or other formats, otherwise you will receive 0 right away without receiving any feedback. Late submissions will receive 1 negative point per minute. Therefore, don't postpone your submission until the last minute. Yeah, this is true, because for your midterm exam, I'm sure most of you can even finish it few hours before the deadline. So don't postpone it until the last moment, because time to time it happens that you may face internet access problem or something like that, or a problem with your computer. It happens to all of us. That's why avoid to submit your work until the last minute, like most of you guys are doing it for your weekly assignments. That's definitely not suggested. The personalized questions contain 100 points. Each personalized question contains 20 points. So what do we mean by that? It means that question 1 contains 20. Question 2 together contains 20. And I will explain about more details. Well, what do I mean by question 2A and question 2B? So here is the grading distribution, and all of the midterm contains 35% of your total score for this course. Fortunately, for your weekly assignments, you have 30%, which is very high. But I applied for during pandemic, so that in the future, for sure, for face-to-face classes, we won't have such a high percentage for just weekly assignments. But I wanted to be flexible, so that at least during pandemic, I didn't want to increase your problems or having anxiety during the exam period. But we should be careful about this 35% anyway, and we should avoid errors in midterm exam, because it's really different from the way that your weekly assignments are graded. So please note that grading format of open book exams, especially if it's online with a long duration, is totally different from typical paper-based exams. Each single error can decrease your score significantly, sometimes the whole points of that question. So you see, it's very important not to make any errors. You have lots of time to double check your answers, or even multiple checking your solutions, so that there won't be any error, and avoid any miscalculation. Avoid providing irrelevant solutions. For example, avoid providing a formula which you won't use throughout the solution. Like, for example, if a student provides all the formulas that we have taught for each question, so obviously those formulas which are relevant, they will receive negative points. So we should avoid to provide irrelevant solutions. As you have noticed, we have updated some part of the lecture files during the online sessions. Please watch all the videos carefully to know about the latest version of the lectures with no errors. This item is very important, guys. Note that watching the videos of our lectures are very important, and also the videos related to weekly assignments, because the file that the teaching assistant provides weekly is just a file from one of the students. So that file can contain errors sometimes, as we mentioned also in one of the weekly assignments related to sets and functions. So it's very important that you watch all the videos, either it's about lectures or weekly assignments, carefully. And even for the files that are uploaded as lecture files, we have updated here and there, and you should be careful about them. So by watching the videos, there should be no misunderstanding about it. Please make sure that you will participate in this exam, because there is no makeup for our midterm exam. So don't forget to submit your work before the deadline. Otherwise, we won't have any makeup for our midterm or final exam. So after all these warnings, I should mention that the level of this exam is easy comparing to a typical open book exam. So don't worry about it. Just try to practice as much as possible, especially go through the weekly assignments carefully. And if you know what do we mean by the weekly assignments and you can solve the similar questions, then it shouldn't be any problem. Obviously, the level of midterm is harder than weekly assignment, but if you know already how to deal with weekly assignments, I'm sure you won't have any difficulty throughout this midterm exam. Just try to avoid miscalculation, because it's very painful to just lose points because of miscalculation, because you understand the logic of the question and suddenly losing points because of the errors. But this is a challenge for this homework exam, so that you should be careful about your calculations as well. So this is the way your questions might look like. Like, for example, in the table for this student should go through question 1.1. So from question 1, the part 1.1. It means that this student should read the material related to question 1 carefully, then solve the question according to 1.1. Okay, because maybe the conditions are different from one student to another, and some part of the question is the same for everybody. So for example, for question 2, this student should answer 2.20 and 2.21. So what do I mean by A and B? They are just titles, but this student should deal with these two questions from question 2. That's what it means. And again, the same situation for question number 3. From question number 3, the student should answer 3.10 and 3.21. And as you can see, this is how it goes to the end. For each of the questions, as you can see, they have subsections, and each student should answer them, and each student answer the question which is different from others, and that's why we call it the personalized exam. Okay, guys, if you have any questions about the lectures or midterm exam, please let me know.